everybody, today I'm going to talk about Uncommon Type, Some Stories, which was written by Tom Hanks, and it's also narrated by Tom Hanks. So if you enjoy the voice of Tom Hanks, I would suggest going with the audio version because that kind of helped make the stories a little more for me. I picked up this book because I have enjoyed other projects that he's worked on and things he's produced as well as things he's starred in. So I thought it might be worth checking out. And in general, it wasn't too bad. I'm not a huge short story person unless it's from a world where I already know the characters, and so I know if you're not quite a short story person, you might not be super drawn into it. They did have a lot of different characters and set in a lot of different times. There's one that kind of threw me for a loop at the ending where it was almost a little bit more suspenseful and grotesque, I guess you could say, which I was not quite expecting given the status of the other stories. But lots of varying lengths. Some of them were really short and some of them were a decent length. It took me probably about 2 or 3 stories before I really started getting into it and enjoying it. And you could really tell that there's the whole like typewriter thing. I don't know if Tom Hanks really likes typewriters or that was just what his common thread was to try and link everything together, but there's definitely a love of typewriters that was being showcased in these short stories. The other thing that I picked up a little bit on is if you know that Tom Hanks likes space, there was a couple different things here and there that kind of alluded to that as well, which was kind of fun, and in general just a decent book. It was a little over 10 hours to listen to. If you're actually picking up a physical copy, it was about 500 pages when I looked that up. And it's worth it's worth a read, I would think, if you're into short stories, or listen if you really like listening to Tom Hanks. The other thing that was really nice about this specific book is that even in the longer stories, it was really easy to pick up and put down any time. So if I got, halfway through a story and I'd finished my walk and had to go do something else, I didn't feel like, oh no, I absolutely have to know the end of the story, but I also didn't feel like, oh well, I don't have to know the end. Like, I was curious enough to come back, but I didn't feel stressed out or pressured if I had to put it down. So that kind of gives you a general idea of what this story is like. If you've read it, I would love to see your comments below, or if you have suggestions of other books you think I should read. My list is long, but I'm always adding to it and hopefully getting to books more often as of late. And if you did or didn't like this, I'd really like to hear about that as well. So I will hear from you, or you'll hear from me really, next time.